Hello everybody, welcome back to, what are we going to call this? One thing that people forget about when it comes to music, like they're like, oh, an important part of music is the literal music, or the production of it, or the collectability, whatever, so on and so forth. But a lot of people seem to not really forget, but not really ever mention merchandise in most settings. I'll say most settings. Because there are some that they are more important, but some that are not. So I figured I have a pretty unhealthy obsession with merchandise. You're not even seeing all the hats like you see in my videos. I wear hats all the time, beanies, snapbacks, whatever. Never a fitted hat though. My head's too big. But along with all that merch, some of it being new and some of it being older, I figured I would go through some of the coolest ones in my collection, in my opinion. But like a lot of them are like cool. You'll see some in here that are newer, you'll see some in here that are old, and then at the very end, there's one that I guarantee maybe 5 people have in existence, and the only one I've seen ever online is the one that I have in my collection that I got. I got super lucky. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Water bottle, stay there. Okay. First up on my list. Now, first of all, I want to know more about if I was just a dumbass at the first leg of the tour. So, first of all, you gotta realize, Insane Clown Posse, the Riddle Box Tour 2016, like the 20th anniversary tour that they did, this is the Old Evil Eye, like, comic shirt. Now, first of all, one of my favorite songs is, like, Edgar Allan Poe inspired. And just second of all, the whole entire just beating everything with it is awesome. And that's the back of it. Now, it is normally, like, bright yellow, but, it's about 5 years old, and the printing is definitely a different type of printing that I'm used to, because it's not, like, even like this. Well, not like this, like, other shirts I have. They're like screen printed or however they go along the process. I'm not 100% sure about it, but a lot of my shirts, it feels like the design should be there. This feels like rubbery almost on both sides, and that's why it's like breaking off a bit, which I don't mind. It's still there. It's not like ripping apart. This is a good friend of mine actually had this and was able to hook me up with it. He gave me a good deal on it because, well, first off, he knows I love this album. This is like my favorite album of all time, and do not judge me on my folding skills, because they're all being hung up anyway afterwards. It's just temporary. But he knows I love the album, and he knows that I'm looking for a lot of shirts, and especially right now, I'm trying to find the original shirts from the order pamphlet. If you know what that is, if there's any like hardcore juggalos out there from the 90s, please contact me. I will trade. I have hoodies, I have jerseys that I want to trade that I don't need. I might even trade audio if I was that desperate. Maybe not, I don't know. Or like drums, I have drums that I could trade you. I want that old merchandise, please. And still on that Riddle Box train, there's going to be a few items from that in there, just because I was able to get a good bit of it. The hoodie, not from the original drop. This is, what size is this that I have? Oh yeah, that was 2XL. I get everything from XL to, some stuff I have 4XL of, just because it's either rare enough or just, it fits me good. I wear like XL to 2XL normally. But this is the, I want to believe, Hot Topic hoodie. I'll see if I can just put information like either on the top of the screen or on the side of it or wherever. But that is awesome. That looks like, it looks brand new, like even in person. No peeling, no nothing. I believe this is 2003 or 2004-ish. Like it's in that area. It does fit a bit smaller for some reason, like lengthwise. But I'm not really complaining so much because I did get a good deal on it. Because I see these normally go for like, those normally go for like $70-something or $100. I was able to get mine for $52. And the ones that were like $100 or so, they look god-awful. Before we even get anywhere further, I figured I'd show off the one I'm wearing. Most Tasteless shirt, the Mad Rock Solo shirt. What does the back say? I think it says the monster has returned, maybe, I don't know. It is a cool one. I got this in like a bundle lot with a ton of stuff, so I was lucky there. Next up on my list. So, Ouja Mac, like one of my favorite of the newer wave of like Juggalo artists, like underground artists and stuff like that. This was the, I want to say gutter water shirt. Like, it was that era. But, I was lucky enough to find online, because in 2018, I couldn't really afford merch, and last year, with getting a good bit of money, I was able to find a lot of merch I couldn't get before. But, on the back, it's misspelled. It's supposed to say Ouija, O-U-I-J-A, and right there, O-U-J-A, Ouja. But everything else is spelled right, that it looks like. So everything else is spelled right, but Ouija. So I don't know how many of these were actually made, but I know there wasn't many of them. Or there was like a good bit of them, and then because there is one out there where it is fixed. I don't know how early on they caught the error, but I know that these are pretty, I don't want to say expensive, but they're not easy to find really. I was only able to find that one. And then on the Ouja Mac train like that, he was in an old group. If you do not know this, he was in a group before this called Swag 2. This is cool. I don't know if this is the Dead York era shirt or something, but it is a cool ass shirt, and I was actually able to get it at a good deal. And also, yeah, the back just says Swag Tooth, and then I can't read. Grim Job. This is a cool shirt because not only was this guy like very cool and gave me a really good deal on it, 40 bucks I think I paid overall, when he had it up for like 65. This came from, it was either Austria or like, I want to say like Brazil or Portugal, one of them. Because I know it took like a month and a half to get here, and it all over it had my address, and then it was like all these like custom stuff to actually ship it over to me. I haven't seen one on any of the pages recently. I haven't seen a lot of older stuff, that is. So I'm still keeping an eye out for that. I'm still keeping an eye out for the Family Over Everything cassette Faux 1. Next up, one that a really good friend of mine hooked me up with. Dark Lotus shirt from the Black Rain era. And one of my other friends pointed out that the T is actually not centered on the cross, which I noticed, and now it bugs me a bit. But this is like the Black Rain era, so if you didn't know, and obviously there's going to be people watching that would obviously know so much more than I would, and because they've been around longer and have experienced it more, because I started getting into like merch stuff around 16, 17-ish, but I started being a fan of the whole entire, like, everything in general around like 12. That's like a good 5-year gap. But the Black Rain era, they dressed up as, I know there's this, I actually have the Black Rain tour shirt that's Scarecrows, and I want to say there's mob bosses, and there was some sort of football player one, because I heard and I also saw in the one video past the acts that they did, it's compiled of tour footage where every night they were actually something different. So like, it's cut up into 3 verses. So one verse is Scarecrows, second verse is the camouflage hunter people, the ghillie suits I think they called them, just that group, and then the third one was like the mob bosses. So it's really cool how they did that. I don't have any of the mob boss stuff, but I do have the ghillie suit, and then I also have the Scarecrow tour shirt. So that's a cool addition to my set. And then we have probably my coolest shirt in my collection, in my opinion, one of my coolest. Been folded up, secured for since August, because I didn't want it. I've never worn this actually. This is Twisted, the Month of Mayhem tour, 2003. I'll just give you a close-up on that one because it is harder to see. But on the back, you'll notice it was canceled. And this one is in I don't want to say pristine shape because the front is showing some like slight cracking, but this is an amazing copy of the shirt. And I don't know why it was specifically canceled. I think it was something to where one of them went into rehab or something. Like, not for anything bad, but just like, it was something like mental or something happened like that back then. So they just ended up having to cancel it, and they sold the shirts online, which I thought was pretty cool. And I don't know where I got this. I think I got this off like eBay or something. Like, someone had it in like a random lot or whatever. That's where I was lucky enough to find a lot of these shirts, because you gotta think, during the initial pandemic quarantine of last year, a lot of people were just trying to make ends meet, and like, I don't want to say sad, but it was like, kind of sucks. You had to sell, like, some people selling their stuff for super cheap. Like, I got 2 shirts that one of them I ended up trading for something you'll see in this video soon, but I got that and another shirt that I ended up selling off as well, just because it didn't fit me right, for like $12 for the pair. And the one shirt alone was like, I think like almost 7-8 times that. So sucks, but still cool. Now this is one of my favorite pieces I was able to get off of the newer website, bizarreninjas.com. And the guy was really cool about it. He was helping me out, trying to figure out how to pay for it, because I was the first sale actually, which I thought was cool. The Riddle Box hoodie, and this is a patch, as you can see. Like, it looks like shiny, whatever. The only downside is the patch is kind of pulling up at the hat there, so I just have to get like fabric glue or something to put it down. And then it's just missing the drawstrings, which that's not even a problem to me. But the cool thing about it is, I think this is like from every jersey that I've seen with the exact patch with like the purple outlining, because this isn't the black outlining like I've seen before. I think it's like 2004 to 2006-ish, which is still awesome. So this was a really good addition to my collection. And the next one I saw, I haven't even seen this one come up yet at all. Like, other than the one I got, and I got super lucky. Next up, taking a little bit of a break from Juggalo stuff, even though this is one about Juggalo stuff, is A14 and Plague Boulevard combination merch, which this one has the freestyle intro on the back of it, which is awesome. This was this came out, I think, December 26th last year. It was part of the collection. Plague Boulevard is honestly a really cool like merch guy in Spider Gang, if you know them, like the people shown here. So like, you can see a lot of the stuff he does is awesome, and it's all like custom tags. It's not like Gildan or like any like cheaper brand stuff, which if it is, I don't mind. That's not a big deal to me, but it's still really cool to see that, and that's honestly really neat. And I was lucky enough to grab it before it sold out. I'm just gonna stay there just because that's where it's gonna go anyways. Okay, when I was talking about the shirt from earlier, it was a Wicked Clowns from Outer Space shirt from like 99 or 2000, and it was cool. It was XL, it fit me okay, but it wasn't my favorite. And I was always worried about messing it up because it was so old. So I had a friend of mine that was interested in it, and I said, hey, like, he's like, how much is it? Online, like at the time there was like 5 different listings from like 85, and now it had like a giant hole in this side of it, to like 135, and mine was in good shape. Just some light cracking from it being 20 years old. So I said, hey, I'm looking to get 94, which isn't that bad. And he's like, hey, would you take a trade? I said, sure, let me see what you got. I ended up getting, I think, pretty lucky. So, Twisted hoodie for a t-shirt, and on the back, right at the bottom, it's screen printed the I Wanna Be Batman song. And the cool thing about this is he showed me his other hoodie that was like this, and instead of it being like a white line like it is on this one, a white outline, his was like a yellow or like a black, I don't remember, and it did not have the phrase on the back of it. So I don't know how, I think this is like 2000 or 2001, because Freak Show, where the I Want to Be Batman song is from, came out in like October 31st, 2000. So like Halloween. What am I trying to do dates for? So I'm guessing it was like either during that time, but this is like in great shape. The patches like comfortably fit into where it's not stiff, and the screen printing on the back is actually in really good shape. Like you can see minor cracking, but it's like 20 years old. I'm not even gonna try to complain about that one, you know? So this one is awesome. This is the Chicken Hunting cassette cover, and it says it on the back. And just to show you what it looks like on the cassette version is my copy of the Chicken Hunting cassette. Ooh. Show that there, and if you see, it's still sealed. Never opened, never anything. Now, along with that being my favorite one, I have even the vinyl. I have the vinyl of it. I have something cooler. Haha! Actually, I had two of them. The Tasty 2021 Chicken Hunting hat, the special edition one, and this one, the weird story kind of, but not really. It's cool. So back in like 95 or 96 or whatever, whenever they filmed the music video for Chicken Hunting, the Slaughterhouse Mix, that's what that cassette is. This brand called, I want to say, it's called Tasty or Electric Boulevard is the one. They had a prototype of this exact hat. They said, hey, Violent J, will you wear this in a music video when we give it to you? He's like, sure. He wore it in a music video. But then they never made any other. That was the only prototype. They don't know where the hat went after that. Whatever. So then 25 years of that or whatever. Yeah. 25, yeah. And they're like, hey, you know what? We're going to re-release the hat for a limited amount of time. The Tasty hat. And this thing, when I tell you it is awesome, I bought two of them. One to wear and then one I'm going to showcase. I'm a nerd, I know. Let me put it on, just to show you how big it is on my head. Look how crazy that damn thing is. I don't wear it like that because I want to look semi-normal. So just kind of something like that. I mean, it is a bigger hat, so it does provide a lot of warmth. So this is like a cool one in addition to the shirt. I was like, screw it, that's awesome. The last thing on my list to show today. Really cool piece, and from what I know, a really rare piece. And I did not know this when I bought it. Boom. The Anybody Killa Dirty History shirt in like this mud brown. Now this shirt, hang this right there even. I bought it on eBay. Forget this. $6 free shipping. He had it up for 10, I offered 6, he took it. And I was like, that's a weird shirt. If I don't like it, maybe I'll just sell it to someone who really likes Anybody Killa stuff that also wears different colored shirts other than just solid black. I love his stuff. I actually was able to get him to sign my first copy of Dirty History that I got at one of my local music stores. Rumor has it, like the legend behind it or whatever, is off of the Psychopathic Museum page. I had actually researched this. And actually before I get into the story, I actually tried to look up, oh, what is this shirt? Where is it? Like, what is this shirt? Any information on it? And the story, there was either 4 or maybe 5 of these shirts ever made. I don't know if that's 100% true or not, but that's just the story on the page, and that's what I'm gonna go with. But I've asked like a good majority of people I know, what is this shirt? Like, do you know anything about this? Even some people who've just been into this stuff longer than I have. Because a lot of my friends that are into this, they're like, I'm not saying they're older, I'm 21. They've been into it like longer, like the 90s or early 2000s when I was a little child or not even born yet. So they're like, no, I have no idea what this shirt is, but it's awesome, it's cool. I actually had one guy offer me, get this, and I passed it up because I think just the story alone and having it is worth more than $400. That was one offer, like a random offer, so long ago. I said, nope, can't do it. And every picture I try to find online of it is the one I have. And I can tell, even the one on the Psychopathic Museum page, I looked it up and looked at the pictures. It's the one from the eBay listing, and I know that because in there is just a tiny hole that came with it when I got it. So I was like, maybe I'll patch it up, do something with it. I don't know. But now I don't even want to touch it because I'm too scared to mess it up. But, yeah, that's crazy that every single picture, like on the Psychopathic Museum page or wherever it was, sorry, I was looking at something, anything like that, is that exact shirt. And there's no one else that can, like, say anything about it. I'm actually going to post it on, like, a subreddit. Maybe, I don't know. Just seeing, like, hey, does anyone know anything about this? But that, I think that was a good way to end this video off. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, like and subscribe and share the video. Do whatever you want. I don't care. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.